Hi everybody, this is Laiba Masood and I'm an intern at the Sparks Foundation under the domain of Data Science and Business Analytics. I hope everybody watching is doing good, and without any further ado, let's delve right into the analysis. So, basically, this was task number 4 in the series where I had to perform EDA, Exploratory Data Analysis on the dataset of global terrorism. Basically, as a defense analyst, I had to find the hot zones or the hot spots of terrorism around the world. I feel like the dataset is quite crucial, and it would be really important, you know, it would really open doors to a lot of useful insights to maybe develop different strategies against, terrorist attacks. And actually, this was my first time using the Power BI dashboard, and I would say that the interface was quite user friendly and really easy to tackle. Okay, so what my dashboard does here is that it has two slicers. Basically, it helps you to analyze the high conflict regions from 1970 to 2017. You could filter the attacks based on different years or different countries, or you could actually do it on the basis of both. Okay, so the graph on the bottom. With the top 5 countries with most attacks within this time frame. Okay, you would expect a lot of these countries to be here. um I feel like despite the potential bias, that could have been introduced by the time frame, considering the geopolitical conflicts and the ongoing military operations and a lot of extremist groups as a result of all those. And then, you cannot deny the bias of a large population size, and then, there's instability in the countries due to a lot of factors. Despite all of that, I feel like it's really hard to deny the realities of that decade, and the influence that had on the data of the whole globe. And maybe this data set says a lot about these countries in particular, their challenges and the long-term trends faced by them. you know but I feel like terrorism is a huge complex debate on its own, and it's influenced by a multitude of factors, and it involves a lot more regions and countries compared to just one. So data alone, like this data set alone, may not be able to tell the full story behind it. Coming from, one of the countries that is one of the hot zones of the globe, I really think this is important to me, that everybody, who checks this data set, who makes decisions on the basis of this, should know, they should see the big picture before they actually, address the challenges associated with terrorism and security. Anyways, so we were talking about the dashboard. So the card on the top over here shows the total number of deaths that have occurred within the time frame, which was 412K, followed by the total successful attacks, which was 162K. Okay, this is basically, right now we're talking about the time frame of 1970 to 2017, but you can always, filter it out by selecting a single, year. Basically, you could go for 1971 or 1972, and it would filter the data according to the year selected or according to the country selected. You have to give it some time for it to load. Okay, so there it is. In the year 1972, we had a total of 566 deaths, followed by 452 successful attacks. Okay, moving on to the next field. um, let data load. Okay, so moving on to the next field, we have the major terrorist group that did the most damage, followed by the most kills by the terrorist group and the most people who survived that attack. Basically, the major targeted areas uh, within this time frame were private citizens, military, police, and etc. We have attack types over here, which include bombing, followed by armed assault, assassination, and hostage taking. Okay, so the map on the bottom here shows the red areas. The red areas basically point to the high conflict regions that had the most number of attacks. Okay, so you could, filter results according to a specific year. You could select anybody in, any year in particular. So I don't know, let's go for a year to analyze different results. We could go for, I don't know, 1985 maybe. So in 1985, we can check that the top five countries have changed for that specific year. We have the major terrorist group as the Sikh extremist party, with the total kills of 329 and 250 wounded. And we could, select another year. Let's go for some other year. I'm gonna go for let's go for 2011. So in 2011, we see that the top five countries and the major targeted areas have changed again. This time, the major terrorist group was Al Qaeda. This was in Tehran, in Iraq, and the most kills were by the terrorist group. There were 110, and 168 were most wounded by the terrorist group. Similarly, you could, select another year. You could select another country. Let's filter the results on the basis of some country. Let's go for Indonesia. Let's go for Indonesia in the year. You have to deselect the select all button first to select a specific country or a year first. Okay, I want to select the year 1919. Let's go for 1981 maybe. Okay. Okay. So yeah. This actually happens that you gotta select, one at least. Okay. So here it is. Okay. So this is, pretty on point. There was the Commando Jihad party, which had the most kills of four. You could see that there's just one attack in that year, Indonesia, and it was, an aircraft attack. You could see that it was the hijacking of the airplane. There was just one attack. So yeah, that's pretty on point. We could check for another country, another year. I don't know. Let's go for something recent. Let's go for 2016, and let's go to Pakistan. Let's go to Pakistan. Here it is. Okay. So there it is. We have Tehreek-e-Taliban with the most kills, with 79 kills and 351 wounded. And you could see the death toll is actually 1,000 plus, and which is actually a lot. And you could see the attack types were mainly bombing followed by armed assault. Okay, so you could, mess around with this on your own, and I will provide the link to my Power Dashboard in my LinkedIn, and you could check it out and you could try it on your own, and let me know the feedback on the dashboard, and let me know what you like, and let me know what things that could have been improved. It was actually my first time, so I would really love some real critique. And yeah, that's a wrap to today's task. Stay tuned, I'll be definitely posting more tasks, and yeah, see you in the next one.